Hi guys, welcome to another Total Technik video. Today we are concentrating on the Cabriolet version of the A4, S4 and RS4 B6 and B7 models. Today what I'm going to do is show you how to remove the front seats here. Now with regards to the front seats, like I say, we are focusing today on the Cabriolet model, which is what this is an S4 Cabriolet we're working on today. However, the process for removing these front seats is exactly the same for the Avant and the Saloon as well. So if you have either of those, this video will certainly be more than enough to get you through the seat removal on Cabriolet, Saloon and Avant models. So I'll show you quickly how to pop this out now. Okay, so one very important thing to note is there are 4 of these bolts that actually hold these seats into the floor of the car, and they use what's called a spline bit, which is this bit here. Now these particular bits don't come in most kind of standard socket sets. However, you can buy these very cheaply on eBay. So you have a little do a little search on there, and you'll find these no problems whatsoever. So you'll definitely need one of these before you can go any further. This is a size M10. Just so you know, so that's the bit that you're going to need to get these bolts out. Okay then guys, so if you look very carefully at your seats here, you've got these 2 rails, one on either side of the car, and if you have a look in the centre there, that's the spline bit that I was just pointing out to you. So move your seats back so you've got access to your front tube first. And not very, once you've cracked them off, as you can see they're in finger tight. So fairly easy to get out. Now something worth noting is sometimes when people refit these, they sometimes put a bit of a thread lock on them. It's not essential, you'll see them very often. You see these haven't had any thread lock on before, but very often you'll remove these. If they're particularly hard to get out, they've probably got a thread lock on them. But very often you'll see a little kind of a little blue line or a little red line that they put some kind of thread lock or nut lock on there to ensure that they don't come free. But to be honest, the thread's so long, and you tend to do them up quite tight, so the likelihood of that actually ever coming out is slim to none. But you will find sometimes that they do put that on. So that's it. So that's the bolt removed from the hole. So you do that again, and the same obviously on the opposite corner. I've already done the one over there, as you can see. So once you've removed those 2, all you do very, very simply is you move your seat forwards, and that'll give you access to the 2 that are on the rear in exactly the same positions. Undo those, and it's literally those 4 bolts are the only thing that hold this into the floor. Also on the like I said before, this is specifically for the Cabriolet, this video, but if you do have the Saloon or the Avant, if you've got the B6, what you might find is on the rear you've got like kind of little plastic slip-on covers, but they do just kind of unclip and slip off. But we are focusing on the Cabriolet today, so I'll leave you to have a little fiddle around with those, but they are easy enough if you have them. So once you've got those 4 bolts removed, come back to the video and I'll show you what the next stage is. Okay, so now we've removed the 4 bolts on the rails holding this seat into the floor. And the easiest thing to do next is just to gently lean the seat backwards, like so. That'll give you access to this little cover underneath the seat, this little plastic cover here. And what we do to remove that plastic cover, just lift the front edge up, like so, and then pull the whole thing back towards the front of the car. You see, it's like a little groove that these 2 little hinges sit into. So they sit in and down. So to remove it, pop it up, and then move the whole thing forward and get that out of the way, and then we can concentrate on the wiring here. Okay, so having a little look at the wiring on the seats here. The wiring is the same regardless of whether you've got the B6, B7, Cabriolet, Saloon, Avant. They all have exactly the same types of plugs under the seats here. Now you should find that the black and the red, you should find those on almost all seats. However, the one that we've got missing from the centre here, which you may have on yours, will be a green plug in the centre there. That's if you have the heated seat option, which this particular car does not have. Now the thing to point out here is this yellow one. This is the connection for the airbags. Obviously we have airbags built into the sides of these seats. So very, very important is you need to disconnect your battery before you remove this connector, and leave the battery disconnected for 5 to 10 minutes to let all the onboard systems all power down, make sure everything's completely discharged before you start playing around with the airbag connector. Make sure you know there's no live power coming through to this plug. So do that first, disconnect your battery, wait at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then you should be able to unplug this without any problems whatsoever. So let's look at removing these. Let's get this airbag one out the way first. On the front edge here is like a little kind of a tab that you can push in. So push that in and lift that up. It's literally just a little tab like so. Press that moving when I wobble it. So we push that in, slide that out. That's easy. That leaves the main plug. So like I say, you may have two. You may have a third one, which is the green heated seats option, which will be in the centre there. Now for these, they've got like little ears on either side. Best way to do it is grab the whole plug and just wobble it side to side. Try not to do it just by grabbing the cables and wobbling it. Try and grab the plug and wobble the plug rather than the cables, hopefully for obvious reasons. What you're trying to do there is, obviously you've got these ears on both sides, and so I'm trying to wobble it. One will slightly pop out, the other one will slightly pop out, and then the whole thing will come off. It's a lot easier than trying to get down there with a hook tool and unhook one and all the rest of it. Now on the rear one now, obviously we've not got a lot of space to remove this, and that's because of this little thing here. And what this is a little plastic anchor that keeps this cable in situ. So when the seat moves backwards and forwards, this part of the cable from this section forward cannot move. The cable behind it will move with the seat as the seat moves backwards and forwards, but this section here can't move because of this plastic anchor. Now if you look just in there, you can see a little plastic ear, and the same on the other side there. So if you squeeze those two together and kind of lift the whole cable up, you'll see that whole thing there will come out like so. Like I said, that's what anchors this cable into place and keeps all your electrical connections secure, stops them being able to move. Exactly the same here for a black plug. There he comes, a little bit of a wrestle side to side, and he pops out. So that's it. So that's all your electrical connections. So you can see we've got three on this one. Yours may have a fourth, the green heated seats one, but that's it. So you've got to get make sure you disconnect all the electrical connections and the anchor. So this is completely free, and this can be lifted out now with the seats. Okay, so to actually lift the seats from the car, the easiest way that I find to do it is to put your hand through the gap in the headrest at the back there. And then also to grab the front of the seats as deep as you can. You want to grab under the metal frame, not onto the actual plastic of the storage container on the front there. You've got to be careful of your steering wheel, because you don't want to scratch that as it comes through. And you're more than likely to have the door on your car, which I don't have here. And so you've got to be careful when you're kind of angling it through, because what you don't want to do is scag your seat rail against your nice leather door card as you're kind of turning it through. It's kind of a little bit easier in the Cabriolet, so I can actually kind of reach into the car, whereas obviously if you're doing it on a saloon or Avant, you actually got to kind of get in and get it. So just grab the whole thing. They are quite heavy, be warned. Pop that down, like so. There. And that's your seat removed.